A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 31st August 2020. Day is Monday. I'm sure you all have enjoyed your weekend. Let's start our discussion. Let's start this new week with a very positive quote by Theodore Roosevelt. Comparison is the thief of joy. The problem is that many of us, we compare ourselves with someone else, right? We think that we are not good like that person. We are not looking good enough like that particular person. We are not hard working enough. We are not this and we are not that. The problem is that if you compare yourself with someone else, the first thing that I believe is that you are insulting God. Because God has, or if you believe in God or not, you are one of the most unique person in this planet. You will not find anyone who is 100% like you. And if you think from this point of view, then that itself will cheer you up. So never compare yourself with anyone else. You are unique, always remember, and you are enough as well. Dear friends, on our table we have 6 important articles and let me tell you that today is the last day for this offer that is going on all our smart courses. Make the most out of it. To find out more about the offer, to find out more about our smart course, all you have to do is download our mobile application on your phone. You will find the PDF of today's lecture on my Telegram channel and you can follow me on Facebook as well. The first one is from Times of India. This one is called Message to China. Now, Caucus 2020. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about Caucus. Caucus is a multi-nation military exercise conducted in Russia. India was going to take part in it, but now India has finally said, officially India has accepted that India is not going to take part in this exercise, and the reason is China. Why? Because this Caucus 2020, it used to have, the plan was that 20 countries will take part in it, but now because of China and because of Pakistan, India has decided that there is no way that our soldiers can conduct a military exercise with these 2 countries. So we have decided that we are going to stay out of it. Okay. And I have some basic information from various sources about this Caucus 2020. So there was one exercise back in 2017 in the west part of Russia. Then there was one in the eastern part and the central part, and now in the southern part of Russia. 19 countries. You can find the names on your screen, so I'm not repeating them. You don't have to remember these names, but just have a quick glance over it. Now, the word Caucasus is derived as a modern variant of Caucasus or Caucasia. So where do you find this region? On your screen you can see parts of Russia, Georgia, Armenia and Azerbaijan. So this is portion you find Caucasian mountains here, right? You find this mountain range here, and on one side you have Caspian Sea, on the other side you have Black Sea. What I want you guys to do is open your atlas book and locate this region. I have highlighted the most important thing that we find in today's lecture, but I want you guys to do this self-preparation. It would just take 1 second or a minute for me to find a good world map and show this location to you guys, but I want you guys to do a little bit of research by yourself, and by doing it yourself you will remember it and you will come across so many other things as well. So locate this region in your map book and make sure that you spend at least 5 minutes after this particular region. Okay, a very important one. You may find a question in your prelims examination about it. Now, members of Shanghai Cooperation Organization group are participating in the military. I have one question for you. Can you tell me the name of all the members of SCO, that is Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Stick your answer in the comment section. This is question number 1 for you. All right. Now, of course, SCO platform is valuable for India, but we cannot continue our discussion. We cannot continue this sort of military exercise with a very hostile, with a very aggressive country called China. China has killed 20 soldiers of our country, and we cannot let it go that easily. So far, we used to believe in this compartments when it comes to relationship with China. Let me throw some more light on compartments, right? So the big issue between India and China is about line of actual control. Forget about the current situation or this Galwan Valley aggression and other things that are going on around LAC. I'm talking about, let's say, in 2019 or before that. You will find that the only problem, a major one, that these two countries have between them is LAC or border issue. Apart from that, we have, if we create various different compartments, then we find trade and investment is one thing, research and development is one thing that where we work together. Then international topics are there like climate change and other things, World Business and World Trade Organization and reforms and so many other things. And there are so many other things as well. I can go on and on, right? Cultural relationship and so many other things. So what India and China, particularly what India said is that let's focus on all these things, right? Let's not focus on this thing here. If we can have positives here, then it's quite natural that we will find something positive here as well. But if we just focus on this thing, then we will have negatives here as well. So India said that let's focus on positives, and hopefully we'll have a positive relationship when it comes to border. We'll sort it out as quickly as possible or in near future. But you know China very well, right? China has no particular problems with an unresolved boundary. If you are following this series for a bit of long time, then you know this thing that China is a country that will start a problem in your piece of land, right? They will enter your territory and then they will say that this is our piece of land. Then you have to prove them. They don't have to do anything. They will just come there and build some tents and military setup, and then you have to prove that this land does not belong to you. So it will keep you busy. It will they are like energy vampires. They will suck away your energy, and they will keep you busy, and they will create political turmoil in your country and things like that. One more problem for us, it's not that big problem, but something that we need to keep our eye on, something that we need to monitor is Moscow and Beijing's growing partnership. And of course, we have this China-Pakistan axis, right? They call each other all weather friends. So these are the things that we need to keep an eye on. Moving on to next item, but before that, dear friends, please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you learned something from today's discussion. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have subscribed already, ask 3 more students to join StudyIQ Education. A development that will hardly put India at ease. Now, if you are following daily financial news analysis, I'm sure many of you are not aware about what I'm talking about. So there is a video series called Daily Financial News Analysis. Every day lectures are delivered on our StudyIQ Education. This DFNA is a very important series for all those students who are not that good with economical, financial and business world news. And even if you are good with this sort of things, then as well you will find something new, something helpful for your preparation. So basically this is a lecture that is delivered by me on regular basis. So I invite you guys to join and watch this series, right? It will help you a lot. Now the reason I am mentioning this one is because last Saturday we talked about this thing in Daily Financial News Analysis, that World Bank has decided that it is going to halt or it is going to pause. Now pay attention, we are not talking about stopping it forever. World Bank is going to halt or pause the annual publication of Ease of Doing Business report. The main reason is that World Bank has detected irregularities of data for a few countries. Now, as far as I know, Indian government officials said that we are not going to find any sort of bad things about India because so far the data that we have provided is legit and clean. So there are countries like China and there are other countries as well. They are going to face some problems because World Bank has detected irregularities. Now, World Bank will perform an audit report for the last 5 years. As far as India is concerned, some basic facts. Back in 2014, we used to be at 142nd position. At present, we are at 63rd rank, which is not bad at all. The reason why ease of doing business is important for India is because we want to make in India. We want Atmanirbhar Bharat to succeed. We want Make in India to succeed. Make in India was launched back in 2014. Now, the main reason why we launched Make in India is because the thing is, dear friends, we can break or we can divide our economy into three important sectors, right? You have primary sector. I'm sure you are aware about this thing, but for new students, I have to talk a little bit about some basic things as well, isn't it? And this will be a good revision for you too. So we have primary, secondary, and tertiary sector. Now, primary sector is all about, you're engaged with direct nature, or you're producing things from nature, like mining and agriculture is part of this thing. Then secondary sector is manufacturing. I'm being very brief here, right? I'm not taking your economic classes here. I'm throwing some light on some basic things. So agriculture, manufacturing, and services. The thing with our country is that 50% population is engaged with agriculture, but their contribution to GDP is somewhere around 15%. Service sector is the main contributor when it comes to our GDP, and manufacturing, you can take on an average, you can take 15%, or it's 17% approx. So 30% or 35% max coming from this two sector, and the rest 65% is coming from service sector. So we have so many people here, we don't need that many people. So what we can do is we can increase our capacity of manufacturing. We can increase this share or contribution of manufacturing in our GDP, and that's what Make in India is all about, raising the manufacturing sector's share in GDP to 25% from 16 to 17%. The current contribution is 16 to 17%. We need to raise the bar to 25% by 2022. And the second target of Make in India is to create 100 million additional jobs in manufacturing sector by 2022. Now, World Bank Ease of Doing Business report is not everything. It's not accurate. It's not up to the mark. If you see, China's global rank went down sharply from 34th position in 2014 to 67th in 2017. But then as well, China is doing good. Michelle Bachelet, the lady that you can see on your screen, she was president of Chile from 2014 to 2018. And she accused the World Bank of manipulating the Ease of Doing Business Index methodology to show her presidency in poor light. And she is not wrong, to be honest. One person from World Bank has accepted this fact that there were problems with data and how data was handled. I have one question for you. Can you give me the name of the father of Michel Bachelet? He was president of Chile, and he was killed in a coup. It's a very sad history, but he was, he was for the country. He worked for the people of this beautiful country called Chile. While India's rank poll vaulted, it has meant nothing on the ground. This is the problem. We lost 3.5 million jobs from 2011-12 to 2017-18. At the same time, you will see our rank is going up, but investment compared to our rank is not coming in. And you see China, the rank is going down, but investment is not coming in. Russia is at present at rank 20, but investment in Russia is not that great. National Accounts Statistics says that annual GDP growth rate in manufacturing fell from 13.1% in 2015-16 to 0 in 2019-20, and then as well our rank is going up. So that's a clear sign that the World Bank Ease of Doing Business report is all about barking and no biting. You know what I mean? So it's good when it comes to theory. And here you can see the indicators used for the index are de jure. That means they are more theoretical, more on the paper side rather than, reflecting things in ground reality. So when it comes to de facto, they are not realistic. So we need to get rid of this sort of things, right? We need to repair it. When I say we, I mean to say World Bank can improve it, make it more realistic. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this fact, but the data from India is collected from Mumbai and Delhi only. But we have other places in our country, they are doing very well compared to Mumbai and Delhi when it comes to ease of doing business report. So, and you cannot compare to country that easily. Things are different, culture is different, business culture is different in various different countries. So there are so many things that needs to be added and deleted from this World Bank ease of doing business report. Alone at the top. Now, a bit of concern about India when it comes to coronavirus, because from last few weeks too many numbers are coming out. Now let me tell you one more thing, that registering or reporting 70,000 plus, or recently we have crossed 80,000 mark. This has never happened so far. So on one side, these figures are quite scary, but at the other side, if you look at it from positive point of view, then they are not that bad. The reason is that we are getting this many numbers because more people are getting tested on regular basis. So that is a good thing. That is not bad. If mortality rate is high, then that is a bad sign. Okay? And we have talked about this thing, not the first time. We have talked about this particular thing many times. So I'm not going too much deep into it. Now remember those reports or those predictions back in March, back in April, in which epidemiological modeling, or they used to say this thing. People used to say, some organizations, they used to say that by July or by August, India is going to see 50,000 plus cases on regular basis, and we will cross 2 million or 1 million cases. And used to think like, no, that's never going to happen because we are going through lockdown and this whole chain will break and we'll get rid of corona. But today we are living with it. We are seeing 80,000 plus cases, and we are not that far from USA and Brazil. The only good side or good thing about our country is that our case fatality rate, CFR, is below 2%. If you see USA and Brazil, their rate is 3%. This coronavirus episode has also unmasked our poor performance. And I'm talking about healthcare system, right? We have always neglected this healthcare system in our country. We know the state of government hospitals in our country. So we have always been bad performer here, and this has unmasked all those so-called things that were those patchy work that was going on. And I have said this thing earlier, and I would like to tell you this thing, that we need a sort of revolution in our thinking when it comes to healthcare sector. So far we have been reactive with everything. What we need to do is we have to be proactive, right? We need to have, in every district you need to have emergency wards. They should be designed and they should be maintained, that if there is any sort of emergency, then you will have all necessary items over there. We need to create this sort of infrastructure, because more pathogens are going to enter human world. So you never know. This is sad reality, and we have to prepare ourselves from today itself. The last point, and I want you guys to think about it, that one of the most secluded tribes in our country that lives in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, they have a tribe with just 50 people in it. And out of those 50 people, 10 have been infected, or they have got this coronavirus. So you can imagine how deep rooted this coronavirus, or how wide it has spread in our country. Despite the messaging, it is still advantage China. Now we hear this thing that many companies are going to leave China, and they are going to exit China, and they are going to enter into a new destination. And we think that everything will come to India because we are a big country and we have this. Okay, no doubt, right? We have so many good things in our side, but we have good competitors as well. And many companies, they are not convinced. India does not have industrial base and expertise if you compare ourselves with China. And then there are Asian countries like ASEAN nations, particularly Vietnam. When it comes to electronic manufacturing, Vietnam is one of the best. So it's going to be very difficult. It's not a low-hanging fruit. We have to do so many things if we want to see all this investment coming into our country, or some of it. There are so many companies, their main core market is Chinese domestic market, so they will not shift their base. And as I told you, we are going to face a very tough competition. There are a few positive things on our side, like for example, when you compare ourselves with China, then we are vibrant democracy. We have open and vibrant press, independent judiciary, and other advantages of democratic governance also provide a favorable contrast to China. There are no Indian government hackers stealing foreign companies' industrial secrets. So these are some positives on our side. These are our strengths. But our weaknesses are unpredictable tax rates or unpredictability in taxes. We have applied taxes on foreign e-commerce companies, and this is the main reason why USA is not happy with us. Education providers seems constructed to disadvantage foreign investors, right? Education means taxes on education providers has also kept this universities and and there are few rules as well when it comes to education, and this e-commerce companies, they are not in favor of, or they are not providing that confidence to these investors. China, on the other side, offers manufacturing infrastructure and skill level that allows innovations to move quickly from prototype to production. So China has achieved this speed, right? And let me give a brief example from invention. If you invent something and if you want to launch it in the market, that is innovation, then China will provide you that platform. China has created those bridges that will act as a shortcut. So you can quickly move your prototype to product and launch it in the market in China, something that we are missing in our country. China also provides this co-location of various different companies, factories, logistics, and even R&D at one place, that is specialized industrial zones. You will find everything associated with your industry in these zones, so you don't have to look any further. So these are the things that China is providing. So we need to learn something from China, and still we don't have this proper single window clearance in our country, and we don't have that transparent and predictable policy framework. In our country, speed is very bad, and we have this red tapeism that is a big problem in our country. So we need to get rid of it, and then we need to take states as well as central government on one board, or on board, not one board, on board and on same page. Means at the end of the day, investment is going to take place. Of course, it is coming into India, but there is, it is going to land up in your state. So we need to bring all various different states on the same page, and they should have standardized ease of doing business. Then we have one article about Shinzo Abe, a very important friend of our country. He is He was Prime Minister of Japan. He has resigned because he is not feeling that well. He is not healthy. I'm not sure what happened to his health. God bless him. But he's one of the longest serving Prime Minister of Japan, and a very close friend of our country, and very close friend of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His maternal grandfather was Prime Minister of Japan. His name is Nobusuke Kishi. He visited India in 1957, and it is said that he was a very good friend of then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. As far as Japan is concerned, Mr. Abe, he is a visionary. He talked about this confluence of two seas, and from there we got this concept of Indo-Pacific. He also talked about collaboration between, or coalition between, four Asian democracies in partnership with Australia and USA, and then we got this idea of Quad. And he will be remembered for as long the man who moved post-war Japan out of its defensive comfort zone under the American shadow and unveiled the possibilities for Asia taking responsibility for its own security. So you can say Atmanirbhar Japan when it comes to defense. right? Self-reliant Japan when it comes to defense and security. This job is not done yet, but it was started, as well as I would say a speed was given by Shinzo Abe. So that's basically everything about him. Now let's move on to the last item of the day. A very interesting article. It's about tractors. Now you'd be thinking, why we are discussing tractors? The reason is that tractors are associated with agriculture, and I have shared some interesting facts with you about agriculture, that 50% population is associated with agriculture. Contribution is around 15% when it comes to GDP. GDP contribution is 15%. So you can say that things are not going that well. So what we need is, we need more production. We need to create more items, and for that we need to use and deploy latest technology, isn't it? So bountiful rains this time, and the news of tractor sales shooting up by 38.5% in July have triggered quite a buzz in the market. It has been claimed that agriculture will be the savior of the economy this year. Now, if we go through this evolution of tractor industry in our country from 1914 to 2020, we find that in 1914, this steam tractors were introduced in our country. Then in 1947, Central Tractor Organization was established. 1961, Eicher Tractor Limited and TAFE were set up for domestic tractor production in India. In 1965, we saw this Mahindra and Mahindra at present 40% market. Tractor market is covered by Mahindra and Mahindra. So Mahindra and Mahindra M&M is the biggest tractor producer and seller of our country. Then you have some things like 1974 Swaraj tractors, 1974 removal of statutory price control on tractors, 1991 de-licensing. Earlier on, till from 1914, or particularly after 1947 till 1991, license Raj was going on over tractors. But after that, you can see that there was a bit of drop, then V-shape growth, and then we have always this tractor industry, or this tractor story has always gone up. It has flourished, and particularly after Green Revolution. During this whole Green Revolution thing, there was a demand for tractors because high yield producing crops and high yield producing seeds and more production, and these things were part of Green Revolution. So it completely changed the way you used to do agriculture. So 1991 was a landmark event. It increased competition, improved quality, and offered more choices to the farmers. Today, India is the largest manufacturer of tractors. We export tractors to countries like USA, and there are so many other countries. And one thing that we have to do is, we have to use our tractors more efficiently. What is happening is that there are so many farmers, they have tractors, but they are not using its 100% capability. Or let's say, if you should use your tractor if your tractor can work for 10 hours a day, I'm just giving you something to think on. Let's say if you have a sports car, Ferrari. So if you have a Ferrari, and if you're driving it every day for a speed of like 30 to 40 or maybe 50 to 60 kilometers per hour speed, right? Max speed that you are touching is 60. Then you don't need Ferrari. Or what you are doing is, you are not using the capabilities of your sports car. So if you have a tractor, and if you cannot use it throughout the year, so that is going to just stay there, right? Wear and tear is going to take place. So how about Uberization? How about creating some sort of apps, or like Ola and Uber? And then if you have a tractor, if you are not using it, then someone else can use it and you can make money out of it. So we need to create this thing, and if we can do this thing, then small farmers, they can also use these tractors, and they will get good yield, and that will be win-win for everyone. Countries like USA, areas like Europe, they have started using a digital revolution. They have started this engagement of digital revolution with their farm machinery, and we should not stay behind. We need to do the same thing. And that's basically everything in today's discussion. These are some news items. I want you guys to do a little bit of research on this particular topic. And that's everything from my side. I will see you with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.